going on?
Thank you so much. Shout out TMZ, are you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, yes, that is right. We are in full swing, NCAA tournament. And you gotta love, you fill out a bracket, Mojo, and then one game in, a lot of people can just tear it up because brackets busted all over the place. We have, as we do every year, we have already got some upsets. You know, Mojo, there is always, every single season, every year, every tournament, there is a 5-12 upset. And what do you know it? We didn't have to wait very long. Yesterday afternoon, we got a 5-12 upset. McNeese, Mojo, who I think a lot of people had never even heard of. Before yesterday's game, they beat Clemson. Clemson, a good team, by the way, who some people had making a little bit of a run in this tournament. But no, it will not be, as you see the guy from McNeese throw down the nice jam there, Mojo. That wasn't the only upset, though. We also had 11-seeded Drake beat Missouri. Of course, Drake, remember, we just talked to Dan Dakic a couple days ago. They've got a good coach, and that team was well coached yesterday. Go out there and they get the win, Mojo. So, with all of that said, Mojo, we're going to do a little TMZ Sports pop quiz here. We'll call it like the Drake or the McNeese version, Mojo. Here, and don't feel bad if you don't know these, because, again, I think, especially with McNeese, people never even heard of this school until yesterday. Let's start, Mojo. Question number 1. The team's student manager has caught the eyes of the entire nation. Is that Drake or is that McNeese? And that's the man right there, Mojo, Amir Khan. He's a legend. Where does he manage?
Oh, man, I saw this too. I had so much to say about this dude because he more or less took credit for the whole victory is what people were saying. McNeese.
Boom, 1 for 1. This dude is, look at that. There he is with the legend, John Fanta. John Fanta out of Seton Hall. Look at, he's got his own shirt. The cheerleaders, Mojo, wear this guy's face on the socks. You want to talk about Riz. Wow. Amir Khan, a legend. All right, let's go. Question number 2, Mojo. This school is located in Des Moines, Iowa. Would that be Drake or would that be McNeese?
McNeese.
All right, we are 1 for 2. McNeese is.
That's how much I don't know about these two schools. I don't even know where they are.
Right. Well, now we know Drake is in Des Moines, Iowa. I had no idea. And McNeese is actually located in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Also had no idea about that. All right, Mojo, we're 1 for 1. Not bad. 50%. Question number 3. Actor Jeremy Piven attended this school before leaving to attend NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. Is that Drake or is that McNeese?
Drake.
Yes. 2 for 3, baby. There we go. He did go. Spent about 2 years there, and then he goes to NYU's very, very good art school. All right, Mojo. Question number 4.
Why did he leave is the question, though, Babcock. Why'd he go?
I don't know. Maybe it's not a fun party school. I don't know. Basketball team sucked back then. Not now, though. Yeah, we'll look into that. We'll do some research, Mojo. We'll get back to people. Question number 4. This team's team name is the Cowboys. Is that Drake or is that McNeese?
That seems like a McNeese kind of thing.
Mojo, you're right. You are 3 for 4. We are in solid C territory right now, 75%. All right, question number 5, Mojo. Hall of Famer Joe Dumars played basketball for this school. Drake or McNeese?
Drake.
Oh, the answer is McNeese. The answer is McNeese, which we have just learned is in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I had to look back at my notes for that. All right, Mojo. Nice. Are we going to be 500 or are we going to be 4 of 6? Let's see. Mojo picked this team to win in the first round. Drake or McNeese? And this is a little bit of a trick question.
Wait, I picked them to win?
That's the question. But it's a trick question. I'm going to give you a hint because I'm trying to work with you here. I want to see my pupil do well.
Babcock, I picked neither of these teams.
Yes!
Matter of fact, I had Clemson beat McNeese and whoever they were playing next. So this one definitely did me a disservice. I forgot these guys were even on the board. I probably didn't even look at their names. I probably looked at their seed, and that was enough. So, no, I picked neither of these guys, so definitely went over set me back. I know who to blame. That being said, I do love a good underdog. I'll probably be rooting for him the rest of the way to bust everybody else's brackets. Yes. As bad as mine is currently.
That's one of, if not the best parts of the tournament, is seeing the teams that you never heard of, who have players who are not famous, they're not wealthy with the NIL deals, and they go out there and they upset these big schools like Clemson. Mojo, you got 4 of 6 right. What's that? 66.6%. That's passing. That's the way I always looked at school. Mojo passes. Way to go. All right, Mojo, moving on from the NCAA tournament to NBA basketball. Bronny James had his best game by far as a professional basketball player last night, Mojo. This was, remember, just really hours after you and I, Mojo, talked about Bronny opening up for the first time about some of the pressure and the criticism that has come from being a rookie and from being LeBron James' son. Well, last night, the Lakers played the Bucks. Now, let me get this part out of the way. They got blown out. They lost 118-89 to the Bucks, Mojo. Giannis played. All the Bucks guys played. The Lakers, on the other hand, they were without their 2 legendary players. LeBron James still out with the groin injury. Luka banged up as well. He was also out. So without Luka, without LeBron, guys like Bronny had to play. And play he did. He has a career-high, Mojo, in minutes. He plays 29 minutes. He scored 17 points and 5 assists. And he didn't shoot like 25 shots, Mojo, and you say, okay, he had a decent amount of points, but he took a ton of shots. No, he was really efficient. He took 10 shots. He made 7 of them. He was 2 of 4 from 3. So a really efficient and a really solid game. Again, they got blown out. The game wasn't close, but his best showing by far, Mojo. After the game, Bronny James, of course, met with the media where he talked about the best he's ever done out there on an NBA court.
I say I've gained my confidence and gained my comfortability over just reps and, getting out there and taking advantage of my opportunity if it's given. So just, being ready at all times, I think that's the biggest thing for me, staying in the stay ready games and practice and stuff like that and taking advantage like I did tonight and just putting my head down and working. I feel like that's the only thing that I can control right now is going in every day and staying ready to play, staying ready to learn, getting the work in after hours, early mornings, stuff like that. Just all the controllables that I can, do myself. There's not really much I can do of random people talking about me, every day. So can't really do much about that. So I just, go in the gym and work, put my head down and try to get better every day.
I was happy to see him do well, Mojo. I really was.
Absolutely, Babcock. He certainly was due for one with all the criticism that he's had. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still showing up to practice, working as hard as he possibly can. And hey, if keeping your head down and just working is your ticket, if that's what makes sense, if that's your formula for success, delete your Twitter, get rid of your Instagram too, and just focus on ball, or at least deactivate it until you maybe are a little bit farther along. I would caution here, Babcock. I would be a little hesitant to say if I'm Bronny, like I've arrived. Hey, I got this one, and now every game is going to be like this. That is not likely to be the case. If anything, maybe his next opponents are actually going to take him a little bit more seriously, play him a little tighter, and then maybe he's back to where he started, but maybe not. I mean, we said it from the start. You come in as a young player, regardless of how good you are, there is going to be a learning curve. It is the highest level of basketball. You're going from college to pro. You're going to have some bumps for most players associated with that transition. But here he is. He had a great game, 17 points, 5 assists. I mean, that's respectable for just about anybody. I mean, that's a great game, I mean, obviously he got a little bit more burn, on the play clock there, which is part of that reason. But, I mean, this was great. I mean, look, if this is his formula, he needs to stick with it and stay on it.
Yeah, I agree, Mojo. And if he hopes to have a long-term NBA career after dad leaves and retires, he's got to play like this. He's not big like his dad. He's not 6'8" and muscular. He's a smaller guy. If he wants to have long-term success in the NBA, he's got to be able to shoot and make shots. And that's what he did last night. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes. Lakers have a handful of games left in the NBA season, and then it's time for the NBA playoffs. Stay tuned. Up next, Conor McGregor says he's running for president of Ireland. Hear why the Notorious says he's the one who turned things around in Ireland when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this.
Is there any chance you run for office?
Maybe. Who knows?
Is that like a dream for you, dude?
I know that's shaking in the boots anyway.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, that was just over 7 years ago, February 2018, where Conor McGregor, as he sat in a car in Manhattan with D. Devlin, he said, I may run for president of Ireland. Well, now appears to be the time, Mojo, because the Notorious says he is, in fact, running for the nation's highest office. So there he was, of course, earlier in the week in the Oval Office at the White House with President Donald Trump. I don't know if that was some inspiration or not, but nonetheless, Conor goes to his social media page and Mojo says in part, the next presidential election must take place by November 11, 2025. Who else will stand up to government and oppose this bill? Any other presidential candidate they attempt to put forward will be of no resistance to them. I will. All citizens of Ireland who have a voice and a choice on their future, vote McGregor and have your voice heard. So there he is, Mojo. I mean, he seems serious about it. I take him at his word. A lot of things are going to happen, but seems like one of the country's most famous celebrities taking a crack at politics.
I don't know, Babcock. I don't know if he follows through with this.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what's happening here. First of all, I'm a little upset that I literally just left Ireland. And,
I know.
We didn't get this out at least like 2 days ago.
You could have, Mojo, you could have interviewed people on the ground there and asked them what they think about this, because I'm very curious, because he's a polarizing dude in Ireland.
Tell Harvey I'll go right back to Ireland and extend the trip if he wants me to do some man on the street interviews. No problem, because I absolutely love it there. Back on point. I mean, what a transition for this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he would more or less have to give up everything he's got going for him. I mean, first of all, forget fighting again. That's done. How about business opportunities and ventures? He's going to remove those too. I mean, look what Trump had to do before he went back and took office.
Good point.
There are a lot of implications here. His income pretty much disappears, and he's had a lot of things happen to him recently that were probably pretty costly. So who knows what his financial situation is like behind closed doors. More than likely, this man can afford it. He was the biggest star in the UFC. I mean, let's not forget about his whiskey label either. I mean, that was a very, 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 very lucrative arrangement for him. But yeah, I mean, he would literally have to pull the plug on everything else, focus on this full term, and that's going to be tough for someone who is
Mojo, and he's obviously getting a little bit older. He's 36 years old now, so if he does this, the term for a president in Ireland, it's not 4 years like here in the States, it's a 7-year term. So obviously, if he were to become president, that takes him well into his 40s, and then likely miss the boat at that point as far as returning to the octagon or fighting anywhere else. So it's a big commitment for Conor McGregor if he wants to do it. And do the people want him? That goes back to that question. Even to get on the ballot, there are some hurdles that he would have to clear. He seems serious about it as we sit here right now in mid-March, Mojo. We'll see what happens. The election's still a couple of months away, but Conor McGregor says he's running for president of Ireland. Coming up on TMZ Sports, we catch up with Nate Burleson. The former NFL wideout tells us why DeShaun Watson's engagement may actually be a blessing for his career on and off of the field. Stay with us. Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, we told you earlier in the week that Browns star quarterback DeShaun Watson got engaged to his longtime girlfriend, influencer Jillian Ace. Now, Jillian Ace has been by DeShaun's side through thick and thin, through the entire masseuse scandal. She has been by his side, Mojo, and then over the weekend, he popped the question. I mean, an absolutely gorgeous ring, a huge, huge ring. DeShaun's made a ton of money, so he can afford it. Nonetheless, a very exciting time for them as a couple. The question is, though, what does this do, if anything, Does it hurt? Does it harm his career? Well, that's the question that we asked former NFL wide receiver turned star CBS broadcaster Nate Burleson. DeShaun Watson had a great start to his career, obviously, Mojo, but has been through a lot of obstacles over the last couple of years. What does the engagement mean for him? We asked Nate.
I think finding a woman and locking in the right spouse can work wonders for him as an athlete. I wouldn't be surprised if DeShaun Watson plays his best football that we've seen in a long time. Having stability at home provides a solid foundation on the football field, in my opinion. In the court of public opinion, sometimes people already slam their gavel and they either embrace you or throw you away. I'm not sure he is going on a campaign to change people's minds about him. But I do feel like if he gets married and wants to lock in some endorsements or partnerships with bigger brands, they might look at him a little bit differently. And he might see a wave of incoming partnerships and collaborations like he saw when he was really killing it and doing his thing for the Houston Texans.
It's in there somewhere, Mojo. He was a heck of a player at one time.
Nate Burleson, I wouldn't be surprised if he played his best football in a long time.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be too hard because he hasn't played great football in quite some time. So
that's a good point.
That's a statement, I guess, of some kind here. But he's right. I mean, you look at some of these other things. He started talking about the brand side, the business side. This will go a long way for some brands that are maybe on the fence for him. I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of business partners that aren't going to want to go anywhere near him for the rest of his career. Man, he would have to become the best player in the NFL, win multiple Super Bowls to get some of those brands back on target here, potentially. And even then, they still might not want to touch him. So you never know. But when you get engaged, when you get married, it is at least a signal to the world that you're cleaning up your act. You're not looking for the same things. You're not partying. You're not going out there and doing all the things that he was doing before. So, I mean, that's going to help his image. I mean, you know, when you think about it, you found a woman that is willing to stick by your side, that obviously knows everything, or most everything that's going on behind closed doors. And if it's not enough to run her off, you know, maybe that's enough for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely, Mojo. When you think about it, and I know he's been around for a long time, DeShaun Watson's still only 29 years old, obviously coming back from the Achilles injury. He hopes to rehab and be back soon, but only 29 years old. We're still waiting for a guy to sign an Aaron Rodgers, who is 41 years old. So DeShaun Watson has potentially a lot of football left in that arm. We'll see if it helps. A one-of-one Paul Skenes rookie card sells at auction. The astounding price this card went for is coming your way when TMZ Sports returns right after this.
On the TMZ Celebrity Tour, we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Ben Affleck, The Rock, and Jamie Foxx. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
It's hard to believe a year ago.
Yeah.
This was you pitching this, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of a whirlwind.
A little bit.
All right. Well, you get your first opening day start.
Wow.
Oh, congrats, brother.
Appreciate it.
There you go. Pretty cool.
Sweet.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, there was Paul Skenes finding out from Pirate skipper Derek Shelton that he was going to get that baseball on opening day. I'm not sure there was a whole lot of mystery out there. Skenes is already one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Forget just the National League. This guy is an absolute stud. And if you don't believe me, Mojo, just look at how much his rookie card just sold for at auction. So this card, and it is a 2024 Topps card, which features a debut patch, which you see right there, as well as the Skenes autograph. It sold for $1.11 million, Mojo. It represents the most expensive Paul Skenes card ever sold. It also represents the most expensive debut baseball card ever sold for any player ever, period, Mojo. So a fitting honor for a guy who, again, is an absolute stud. He's as talented as they come, Mojo. And, again, taking that baseball on opening day won't be the last Paul Skenes card to go for a ton of money, but it is the first.
Tell you what, Paul Skenes might not have been too excited to receive that news. Maybe internally he wasn't showing.
I think he knew, Mojo. I think he knew.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a cool thing. I mean, I don't know. I guess you want to show your coach that this is to be expected.
Right.
I deserve this. I earned this. So, whatever. This is a formality. Clearly, I can see the camera sitting on the other side of the room that's trying to capture this moment. But I'll tell you, probably who is excited is whoever sold that card for $1.1 million. I mean, my goodness, what a draw for just this little piece of cardboard. Simple, a millionaire now. That is fantastic. If we all could be so lucky, but really cool thing here, Babe Cock.
It really is. It is crazy when you think about it, though, Mojo, right? Like a 2x3-inch piece of cardboard that goes for $1,100,000. It's crazy, but there's a huge collectible market out there, and he is a great, great player. All right, Mojo, we are out of time. Next time we talk, we will have gone from 64 basketball teams to only 16 left. We will have a ton to talk about after a ton of basketball this weekend, Mojo. All to say, Monday is going to be a great show.
And how badly my bracket has been busted. Hopefully I'm on the first flight back to Ireland to ask everybody about this Conor McGregor news. And that, fleeing the country from this terrible bracket, will make Monday the best show today.
I'm a lawyer.